when you wake each morning, cover yourself with the idea that this is the day. Surround yourself with your goals and the determination you need to get after those goals relentlessly with honor and courage. And don't dare stop until you have reached peak performance. Then simply rinse and repeat the next morning. I made that quote earlier today and posted it on the Commanding Image Facebook because I think that's probably one of the best ways to get yourself out of a rut, to keep yourself honest, and just because one of the most effective things you can do for yourself is to have a good, sound morning routine. This is another Commanding Image pod block. I appreciate you looking into this. This one's going to be all about morning routine. Now, there's a lot of different morning routines. I'm not trying to get you to to stick to mine exactly. I'll give you examples of mine, probably not perfect examples. But it's important that you start your morning off efficiently and effectively each day. The biggest reason why is that the morning is the thing that makes or breaks. You know, I don't really buy into breakfast being that. I don't eat breakfast. But if you think about what most commonly puts somebody into a rut, you've had a bad day the day before. You and your girlfriend have broken up. You got chewed out at work. You know, whatever. Any excuse, any reason. And the first thing you do when you wake up the next morning is that's on your mind somewhere. Not your goals, not the fact that this is a different day and that you're going to squash that rut right now, but you're thinking about, you know, you don't want to go into work because yesterday was horrible, you know. You're thinking about whatever. The most effective way to protect yourself from getting into ruts like that, and it's not going to work every day, but you need to believe it will, is to think like that. So you're up in the morning, the first thing you're thinking, instead of hitting the snooze button, instead of allowing yourself to feel bummed that you have to go to work or that you have to do something, maybe it's a baseball game, softball game, whatever, is to think today's the day. I'm executing today. I'm doing the big things today and I'm going to perform. I'm going to make the best mark I possibly can. And then take another look at your goals. Get pumped up, listen to good music, get a good shower. Make sure you wake up early so you don't feel rushed. Not talking about like 5 when you need to be somewhere at 9 or whatever, although 5 o'clock is a good time to be waking up. But do things like that. Be ready to leave an hour before you need to. That kind of thing. Review what you have going on in that day. But most importantly, throughout that day, don't sell yourself short. Go into that day knowing what your goals are, your plans are. You know, don't try to, you know, maybe you started a company today and you're going to bring that thing to $1 billion in one day and you just know it. Yeah, that's not likely to happen. You got to have good goals. You know, I'm not saying easy goals. Don't do that. But morning routine can help get you there, right? If you look at people breaking ruts or people breaking bad streaks or things like that, usually there's a hitch. You know, there's a trigger there that pulls somebody out of it. Oddly, in sports, sometimes it's a routine change, right? So don't get totally sold on the exact way that you're doing your mornings. But again, the important part is think about each day as though there is a reset when your head hits the pillow, and don't let your head hit the pillow until you have reached peak performance. Super important. The part in that about honor and courage is equally important. You know, don't just go out there with your goals and cut every corner you possibly can to achieve them. Refuse to break your code. A little later on in Commanding Image, I'm going to be talking about building codes and the importance of them. And when I start interviewing people, I'm going to be asking them about their codes, the things that they have built into their day-to-day to keep them on track. You know, usually the quickest way to a goal can be reputation destroying, or it can be something that gives you a short-term yield but a long-term problem. So build that. Think about it. What's going to put you ahead? Do you eat breakfast? Have it early. Get up in the morning, be ready to roll. Maybe have your clothes out the night before, things like that. So you are moving from a point of efficiency from point A. You know what you're going to do. And again, pin up your goals, your short terms, your long terms. Think about them before you go to bed. Think about them when you wake up. Again, every morning routine is going to be different. Some people are going to get up and go for a jog or a hike. Other people are going to read the paper from the night before or check out the news. It might pertain differently from person to person, from industry to industry. But if you find you're in a rut, start evaluating these things. Again, always take a personal audit of where you're at in your life. Tweak your morning setting to try to move away from some of the stuff you don't like to see. These are things that everybody pretty much knows, but very few people actually do them. As a matter of fact, if you're someone who has a good morning routine like that, and not just wake up, brush the teeth, go to work, whatever it is, something like that, but some goal-oriented morning routine, you are probably one of 10% of the people in this world that is alive today. Most people don't do those things even though they know it's a good habit. Either out of laziness or out of lack of interest or whatever. If you're looking to get ahead, you cannot afford to do that. This is one of the base principles that you need to require yourself to have. It can't just be, oh, you know what, I can skip that. This one's huge. Again, you had a bad day before. How are you getting that out of your head and not having a bad day on day 2, day 3, whatever? Most people you run into that are succeeding, doing very well, and such, have this in there. So again, when you get up in the morning, ask yourself what you're normally doing. Are you going to work mad? What kind of music are you listening to? Are you listening to something that's a bit more toxic on the soul, or are you listening to something that gets you pumped up? That can be anything from some heavy metal all the way up to, I don't know, like something orchestra or like pop. But do it. Build that environment. Start your day off strong and try to close your day off strong. But refuse to pack it in until you feel as though you have got results. The long-term gains are almost always going to be short, small successes. Not the time when you chop down a tree with one swing. They'll be the ones where you just kind of chipped away at something, and over the course of a year, 2 years, whatever, the difference is mind-numbing. That's what you need to start building your brain into doing. So when you get up in the morning, try to build that routine. Know what that looks like. Look into some habits that you like, habits that you want in your life, and try to set your brain on course to be able to handle more positive things. Detoxify your system as best you can, and your surroundings and your environment. Having a setup to where your launching pad for the day is that effective can't possibly hurt you. It can only help you. An old saying is, if it can't possibly hurt but it could help, why not do it? Well, there you go, except I guarantee you, if you have a morning routine built that's outstanding, it's going to help you. Anyway, this has been a pretty short Commanding Image podcast block. I like this one. I made that quote this morning. Instantly thought that maybe that'd be a good one to do a short block on. And it's going to be something that we're going to be asking people about consistently when we're doing interviews with some of the people that we run into. Anyway, again, as always, please subscribe, like us, hit the notification bell on YouTube, for Facebook, follow us, share us, like us, and all that business. And if you have any questions, never feel shy of asking them. All right. Sometimes people ask things on some of the quotes or whatever that are a little bit off character, but hey, worst question is one you don't ask. Anyway, have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching.